Hi, my name is Stephen Washington, and every single month I help you stay grounded and focused through mindfulness and movement. The theme of this month's Heart Mind Moment is facing conflict with courage. Let's acknowledge the fact that conflict is a part of life, especially in relationships that truly matter to us. The key is learning how to navigate it with courage, empathy, and healthy boundaries. Let's take a look at the problem. Avoiding conflict. So many people are conditioned to avoid conflict at all costs. The belief that conflict equals bad leads to silence, shutdown, or even cutoffs. So here are some examples of avoidance, like ghosting, emotional withdrawal, severing ties with no conversation. This creates a deeper disconnection, resentment, and then long-term relational wounds. Let's reframe conflict as an opportunity. So conflict isn't inherently negative. It's often a gateway to deeper understanding as well as connection. Healthy conflict can build trust, reveal unmet needs, and strengthen communication. And relationships grow through repair, not just through harmony. So there are some skills that we can develop for conflict resolution. And let's start off with listening actively with the intent on understanding and not defending. Then there's empathy, trying to see the situation from the other person's perspective and not just your own. And then clear communication, expressing your feelings and needs calmly, yet honestly. And boundaries. Boundaries are so important. Knowing what's okay and not okay for you. And patience. Practicing patience and compromise, allowing space for growth and change. But it's also really important to acknowledge that it's good to know when to walk away. So not all relationships can or should be repaired. If efforts to resolve conflict have been consistent and met with resistance or even harm, walking away is sometimes the healthiest thing that you can do. Empower yourself to know the difference between giving up too soon or staying for far too long. Honor both the trying and the letting go. So I want to share with you a brief story that illustrates this point. When I think about a conflict that I've had in my life, there was one that I had with my sister. My sister and I are very close. We love each other dearly, and we've always been really close. But there was a conflict that we had a few years ago, and I was feeling as though when we connected, that the connection was moving in one direction. I felt like I was always holding space for her, and yet there wasn't much room for me and what was happening in my life, or that I didn't feel like I was getting the same kind of support. And it started to weigh on me. So there was a part of me that didn't want to bring it up because I was afraid that she would take it the wrong way. But I knew that if I did not bring it up, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So one day when we were connecting, and my sister and I mostly communicate through voice memos. We love sending like 20-minute voice memos to each other. I talked to her about what I was feeling, and I framed it in a way that was like, I don't want this to come off as me judging you or making you the bad guy. I just want to bring this up to you because you might not even be aware of this dynamic, but I'm aware of it, and I want to share it with you, bring it out of the shadows and into the light, and hopefully we can come to some sort of middle ground. And my assumption that she wasn't fully conscious of the dynamic was true. And once I expressed to her what I was feeling, she was more than willing to look at it from my side and make some adjustments. And I have to tell you, from that day forth, the way that we communicate has shifted. And so I always feel when I'm connecting with my sister that the energy is reciprocal. So I think the moral of the story is facing that conflict head on made my relationship with her even more meaningful. So I really chose to show up in that situation with care and with effort, and I learned a lot from it. And I learned that there was an ability for us to reconcile this difference, and I didn't have to just fully release it and walk away. So I've shared a lot with you, and I want to do a short little wellness practice to help us to integrate all this information that we are exploring together around conflict and conflict resolution. So I want to invite you to just take your hands and place them right over your lower belly, one hand on top of the other. And let's just take some deep breaths in and out of the body. So I invite you to inhale through your nose, and as you do, feel your abdomen expand. And then exhale out through your mouth and allow your abdomen to soften. And again, deep breath in, feel the belly expand. And deep breath out, feel your belly soften. So I invite you to be a witness to your breath. Notice what it feels like as you draw breath into your body. Notice that little pause after your inhale. And then exhale the breath out and witness the breath leaving your body. And then that little pause after the exhale. And just keep breathing on your own. This is a very important practice to do whenever you feel like you're in the middle of some sort of conflict and your body is reacting to it. You might feel like your body shifts into fight or flight when you are faced with a conflict with a person. And this is an opportunity to regulate your nervous system. And when your nervous system is regulated and you feel more balanced, you're able to think and respond to life more calmly, responding rather than reacting. Let's take 2 more breaths together. One more breath. Beautiful. And relax. So hopefully you feel different. Hopefully you feel more grounded. I'd like to offer you a simple affirmation that you can use whenever you are in the middle of a conflict. And the affirmation is, I can meet conflict with courage and compassion. I can meet conflict with courage and compassion. Let's say it one more time. I can meet conflict with courage and compassion. So in closing of this Heart Mind moment, I want to offer some encouragement as well as an invitation. I want to remind you that avoidance might feel safer, but growth lives in the willingness to face what's hard with love and honesty. I want to encourage you to reflect on a few questions. Is there a conversation you've been avoiding? Is there a relationship worth fighting for? Or are you finally ready to release with peace? Let's end with this heartfelt blessing. May you find strength in your voice, softness in your heart, and wisdom in your choices. I also want to extend an invitation to go a little bit deeper. So if you really enjoy this conversation and it resonates with you, I'd love to invite you to my Heart Mind Moments monthly meetup. It's a live, nourishing space where we come together as a community to reflect, share, and grow through mindful conversations and gentle practices. So our next gathering is coming up this month. I have them every 3rd Monday of each month, and it's a perfect place to explore themes like this one, go a little bit more deeply. You don't have to journey alone. You can come to spaces like this and connect with others walking this path too. So thank you so much for joining me for this Heart Mind moment, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. But until then, many blessings.